Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to our third episode of ERC The Stage. And of course we're all getting ready for the build up to the 2020 FIA European Rally Championship season. And of course we're building up every week and bringing you more guests, more interviews and more sort of behind the scenes gossip as we get ready for the Rally Roma to get underway, which is going to be the opening round of the 2020 championship. Of course, I'm locked down in the garage in the UK. Julian Porter joins me as well this week for the stage. As always, the expert, the eye, the guy with the knowledge, and of course a little bit of a habit for trolling through social media content to find out what's going on. Julian, lovely to see you this evening. I love your array of cars that you've got behind you on the shelf this episode.
Well, that's it. A few of my little models.
Yeah, you've got a good personal collection of little collectibles, which is great, which I'm really jealous of. I'm, as I say, in the garage, and well, over here we've just got a load of garden tools, the lawnmower, and a load of old rubbish around. But here we are for another week of some hot ERC gossip, I suppose we'll talk about this week. And who's on the show this week, Julian?
This week we've got some big hitters. We have fans' favourite Alexey Lukyanuk, probably one of the fastest men in the European Rally Championship. Alexey joins us.
Hello.
And also joining us is another fans' favourite and driver who's been away from the European Rally Championship for just a little while, but coming back in 2020, and that is Craig Breen.
Oh, hello. Craig looks like he's meditating today, doesn't he? He looks like he's got his sat cross-legged on the floor doing a little bit of karma, kind of getting himself relaxed. But yeah, so these two guys, we're going to have an in-depth chat to them in a short while. Alexey looks like he's already set in the rally car, ready to start the season. But that season kicks off in a few weeks' time, doesn't it, Julian? So let's just have a quick look at the all-inclusive calendar for this season. Where are we going and when are we off there? Where are we off to, Julian?
Well, like you said, we're going to start in the third week of July in Rally Roma de Capitale. Then we move on to Liepaja in Latvia for another summer round on the gravel there. Barham Czech Rally's Lynn, Azores in September. Then we move to Cyprus. Then Hungary again at the same time, the start of November as it was in 2019. With then Canaries running in December. 7 rounds in total. Obviously, Poland was moved from this year into next year. 5 rounds of that counting towards our junior championships, ERC Junior, ERC 1 Juniors, ERC 3 Juniors. So 7-round calendar, 5 rounds of those counting towards the juniors, and some good rallies, some rallies that these guys have done before and things like that. So it should be good.
Should be good indeed. And I was looking at some footage earlier in the week of Rally Hungary from last year. And here we are, it's June, where are we? June the 3rd. Today, and it's warm and sunny. It's been beautiful in the UK for the past few weeks, and looking back at the footage from Hungary last year when it was misty and wet and miserable, it seems like a long way off, but we're looking forward to get some hot rally action in Rome in a few weeks' time. Now then, Alexey, runner-up to the championship last year, great to have you on board. You're sat in the car at the moment. What have you been doing over the winter months? Have you been well, what's been going on in your life?
Yeah, it was a long time doing nothing almost, but luckily I have some sim set up at home, and I can practice a lot. Also, I'm having some sort of a gym behind me. You see one pillow for balancing, and I have a lot more stuff here. So I work online with my fitness trainer. So not wasting time for nothing.
I see in the background also, Alexey, your electric guitar. That is in the background. But I've been watching your social media, and you've been doing videos of your training as well. Now, Craig obviously trains a lot. Your videos of training at high speed were quite entertaining to watch, I have to say. But what kind of things do you two do to keep fit in this prolonged gap?
I am playing balls, you know.
Don't want to know.
Like that.
Oh, right. Okay. That's good.
I can do with 3.
Go on then.
Oh, are we going to see that?
I'm not sure. I need to practice a bit.
Okay.
Craig, what about you? Have you been out on the bike? Have you been doing some running, or have you been locked down as well and working out at home?
Yeah, a bit of everything, to be honest with you. I've been training probably harder now than I've been doing since I started. I started in rallying. To be honest, I feel as fit as I've been. Here's the way that didn't go too well, did it? I probably feel as fit now as I was when I was in karts when I was a teenager. I really just knuckled down and fair play. Let's go going. But yeah, no, I do really feel in good shape now. I just got my head down, trained and tried to do everything I could to be in the best shape possible. And I was lucky enough to get a sim. A crowd in Ireland sponsored me a sim, Digital Motorsports, and I've been using that, just trying to keep myself in shape as best as possible. And just spending a bit of time with family, friends. I have not like a guitar. I've got a banjo. I hope to be like Jim on the Royal Family one day and be able to give it a good old strum, but it's still covered in dust, and I haven't learned exactly how to play it. So. But
you two could have like a face-off, couldn't you, with Alexey's electric guitar and your banjo?
Yeah, dueling banjo.
Is not in a tune. Banjo is not in a tune.
But, do you just get your banjo out then when you're having a party over and you want to be all moody and methodical and kind of a bit deep, and or is it always you hang on the wall?
It's a decoration, to be honest with you. I got it years ago, and when this whole lockdown came in, I said, I'm sure I have a banjo here somewhere in the attic. So I went up and I raided it, and spent a day getting the dust off it, and I've done very little with it. I mean, I was obsessed when Jim and the Royal Family. It won't make sense to anyone from outside the UK, but Jim used to bring out the banjo and play it on the Royal Family. He said, I'd love to be able to play it like that, but I can't.
Is Ricky Tomlinson, is he still around, or did he pass away a few years ago? I can't remember. He was the guy who played Jim in the Royal Family.
I think he's still around.
Oh, is he? Okay, I feel bad.
Could be wrong.
I don't know.
Anyway.
The Royal Family is a TV show in the UK. It's quite a cult TV show. But Alexey, you're up in St. Petersburg, aren't you? So guitaring. Have you been annoying the neighbours playing the guitar over the lockdown period?
I hope not. I'm a polite player, so I don't make it too noisy. I'd like to, but should I live in my house, I would. But here, a lot of people around, so. Not so fun.
Right.
I think one of the coolest things that Alexey did was when in Leopold, when he won the championship 2018, he didn't do the final round in Leopold, but he still came and he played the electric guitar on the start ramp. I thought that was really, really cool. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
It was good time. Yeah, it was pretty fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was a bit, unnatural for me to be on the start podium, but playing guitar instead of passing all over the car. But
yeah, they got this celebration going on, but you actually had the real one in Leopold. But where is this celebration come from?
It's from Italy, and no guitar. Sorry.
That's it. So
both of you guys back for the ERC this year, Alexey. Craig, we haven't seen you for a couple of years, but you're back this year with the Hyundai. Alexey, you're back as well with Citroen this year. I know that you two guys have past history, but you still get on okay. What's the sort of the plan for this season? And Craig, are you going to go for the championship? I know Lexey, you want a second win of the ERC Apple. Another bite of that. What's the plans for this season for both of you guys? Do you want to take home some silverware, or Craig, is it just having some seat time in the car?
Look, I suppose it was one of the ERC was one of the titles that I felt I missed on the way up the ladder. And everything else I set my sights to, or set our sights to. We managed to succeed, whether it was JWRC, WRC2, getting podiums in the World Championship bits and pieces. So it was always the one that I kind of missed a step along the way. So yeah, it's nice to have a chance to go and do it again. And definitely, like I said before, I just want to start to drive again. I just want to get behind the wheel of a car and to get that feeling of being in competition again. So for sure, I'll be trying very hard. And obviously I've got a good team behind me. Obviously MRF are very motivated to try and make a good product, and we want to prove it. So it's going to be an exciting time.
Same question to Alexey. What about you?
For me, I think it's the most important thing to start driving again, because when everything stops, we're losing the momentum. The sponsors losing a bit the momentum we do, and people starting to follow different strange things. So it's better to start the show, to attract everybody back and have a good show. So that's my main idea. I'm not really thinking about any tactics points or something like that. It's just the intention to drive and be on the spot and have fun.
If we just go back to your times, I don't know, you might know this, you might not, but when I was studying all your ERC data, your ERC debuts, both of you, was the same rally. Liepaja, 2013.
13.
You were in, Alexey was in his Mitsubishi, Craig, you were in the Peugeot. I always remember the likable, but the very crazy Russian. He would come to the end of the stage because Liepaja is so fast. You, Craig, were topping, I don't know, 120 miles an hour, 170 kilometers an hour. The Mitsubishi Evo, Alexey, what were you, 200 plus?
Not really. It's quite rare we can reach 200 plus. I think it was 190 something, but it's good and pretty fast.
I mean, what was your, going back to those days, how much were you enjoying that, Alexey? No pressure, Mitsubishi, how much fun was it? And what were you thinking, Craig, as you just mentioned, you were on your way up. How much fun was the championship in those days between the two of you?
For us, sorry.
No, go.
Yeah, for us it was...
It's the only time you go first. Huh?
Put your hand up if you want to go. Just put your hand up. Go.
So yeah, for us it was amazing event. It was a chance to start. No, it's from summer rally in Estonia, but yeah, it was a winter rally, and we struggled with starts because the Mitsu is a very heavy car. But on the fast flowing roads, it's easy to control and easy to build good speed on the stages. So yeah, it was no tactics behind, no ideas, no concerns, just pushing hard, like on this photo, and having a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we had some technical problems and lost oil, but I remember this rally well, and it's a warm memories.
That was where you nearly rolled it on the final couple of meters of the rally, but you're up on two wheels, and I think you're still waving. It's incredible footage, that. But you know, even Julian and I and Craig, when we went back to Liepaja on that debut for you, Alexey, I remember Julian coming in one night going, "Who's this guy? He's just so quick. Who's this Russian fella?" I mean, you won the Colin McRae Flat Out trophy as a result of your efforts that weekend in the Mitsubishi, and all of us on the ERC then were like, okay, we've got to watch out for this guy. And yeah, super quick. But Craig, you're no slouch either. You know, you won the Acropolis Rally, didn't you, with Scott on the first time out, wasn't it, with the 208 T16, which is a car that you had some good memories of driving on the circuit of Ireland over Hamilton's Folly, wasn't it? In the if you remember, it was the hailstorm that afternoon, and you managed to smash the rear window, landing quite heavily. But good memories though.
Yeah, no, look, I have great memories of up in the ERC, and yeah, back to 2013 in Liepaja. That was my first factory drive in anything, so it was quite daunting, having to go to rally without, you know, having sort of my own family team around me, having Tom Gahan, you know, running the car and stuff like that. It was strange to be in a different environment, and but I remember we had a really good rally. Jari Kedema was doing it in the regional car at that time, and we led it initially for the first day and a half, and then the stages moved towards in Ventspils. So I think we shifted halfway through the rally, and the stages were much faster. And yeah, the little 207 just ran out of legs on the fast stuff, and we ended up finishing second. But yeah, look, great memories over the years there. You know, it brought me the chance to win some really iconic rallies that I always wanted to win over the years. You know, it was a great adventure. Obviously, having, you know, been able to win the Circuit of Ireland 2 times in the European Championship as well was something special. Obviously, the first time winning it there in 15, that was some of the most incredible memories of my whole career. So nothing but positive memories, good times working obviously with Peugeot, working with Santlock, and all the people there was really nice. Created friends for life, and I just have to tick off that box now.
I remember in the Circuit of Ireland, we were just scrolling through some footage earlier on. That first win you had, Craig, it all nearly went wrong. Was it a penultimate stage from what I can remember, where there was a junction where you kind of like had a bit of a moment? This is the following year. This is probably, I remember interviewing you at the end of, I think it was, I can't remember the name of the stage now, Chris. We were talking about it before.
Torhead, or the Glens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, what was that like?
That weekend was special, I have to say. The one year that 2015 was the first year that we won it, and it was quite a let's say famous, or let's say popular crossroads just off the start of the stage, close to Banbridge. A lot of spectators had gone there, and the first time around it, I got it really perfect, and I'd filled the road and finished right out in the grass. And a couple of the boys and servers were saying, you know, geez, that was really impressive. You know, or no one else was able to do it, you know, as fast as that. And you know, we went into that stage, we're leading by 20 seconds, and I remember thinking in my own head, should the boys be up here again the first junction, we'll go around that one a bit of a push, and then we can go handy then from there on. And yeah, you'll have seen the footage from it, just went that little bit too fast and got out on the marbles on the outside on the loose, and nearly threw the whole lot away. But we were very, very lucky, really lucky. And then the last stage again, I stalled inside in the junction halfway through it and dropped a good few seconds. And probably in my own mind, I think we actually went behind Kaito overall in that stage and had to go absolutely hammer and tongs for the last bit. But that was bloody sweet to win that one, I have to say. Yeah.
It was incredible. We've got some footage. I think we just clipped out of the video, and then you lost the bumper on the final section just with those spins, and you're absolutely drained at the end.
This is it here.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. It was never going to happen. And if you watch the video from outside, you can hear a lot of my friends that like, well, what is he at? Like, I don't believe it. That was lucky. And the following year was maybe even a little bit more sweeter, because I had to get the whole thing together myself. Obviously, I'd moved on to Citroen at that point and in the World Championship, and there wasn't a program in ERC, but managed to get some sponsors on board, and you know, I had done the whole thing myself. And yeah, you can see how much that event means to me. You know, I grew up, the Circuit of Ireland was a pure circuit of the country back in the day, and the event would have came down and stayed overnight in my home place in Waterford. And, you know, I grew up around all the rally and having my heroes there, so it was definitely one of the sweetest moments of my career.
Incredible stuff.
I do remember this rally. Actually, it was my first proper tarmac rally with R5 car. Actually, with any car. I never drove tarmac before. Only maybe a few kilometers in some locations, but basically it was an amazing experience. We started losing 3 seconds per kilometer to Kaito, to Craig. 3 seconds per kilometer. Can you imagine? I was nowhere. But we finished building the pace, learning the car. Actually, it was a funny story on the shakedown and the qualification. When I started, I thought I was doing quite good on the qualify, and I was like 12 or something. I said, no, something wrong with the times. Something is wrong. If the times are right, I am a shitty driver and I should go home and leave immediately any racing. So I had a lot of self-belief at the moment, but it was a strong lesson for me. And I developed a lot on tarmac, and later in the season on Baron, we started winning stages, and it was a big progress for me. Ireland is different. Ireland is quite a tricky one with dusty conditions, with water and everything. But it was a start for me.
Before we go any further, we're going to come back to you guys, but we've also got a message from another driver who's joining us. Was meant to be part of this team tonight, Marian Griebel, but Marian can't join us now, but he sent us a message. So we're coming back to you two, but we're just going to hear from Marian first.
Hello and good evening to all ERC fans. I'm really sorry I can't be live on the show tonight. But yeah, after weeks or even months of lockdown also here in Germany, it's now possible again to travel within the country. So at the moment I'm in the very north of Germany to visit the factory of my main sponsor Armin Krämer, who was a former European champion as well. And at the moment Armin organized a very nice day here in the company as well as around this great countryside. So I guess I would not be able to have internet connection to talk to you in live style now. But yeah, like I said, I'm really sorry for this, and I want to give some words to you in that way. I'm really looking forward to start the championship, and as most of you, I guess, I'm very much hoping that Motorsport Italia can organize this Rally di Roma Capitale in July, so that we can finally do what we all like the most. I will start in a Citroën C3 R5 this year, run by French Saint-Eloque team. I was already there to visit the company, and I can tell you that it's a very professional team, and also the boss, Vincent Duché, is giving everything to have a good start into the season with both me and Alexey Lukyanuk, who you all know, I guess. It's a very fast man, and I hope I can learn a lot from him, as well as scoring good results for me and also the team together with him. Yeah, so I can just wish you a nice evening in ERC The Show, and also some nice weeks and months until hopefully we meet each other again on some of the world's nicest stages in European Rally Championship. See you and bye-bye.
He's a nice guy, Marianne Griebel, and of course going to be your teammate this year, Alexey. So yeah, you're gonna get on well in the camp, I hope. Play nice.
We will see. Looking forward really to do something at least out of home. So should be a good story. Anyway.
Right. This is the next bit on our script, apparently, Julian. I need to get to it. We've got the script here this evening. I always
we've got to get through any other business, but then we can go back to Craig and Alexey. But
yeah.
The news.
News is next, apparently. So what's the news?
That's it. Well, the news is basically I'm just going through like Richard Rogers' massive editorial situation on the website and finding out and picking up stuff. And the first bit of news I've got is the Abarth Rally Cup will be back again. It'll be run over 4 tarmac rallies this year and 1 gravel rally. So we've got Roma, Liepaja, Zlin, Hungary and Canaries. Again, like last year, huge prize fund, €210,000 in total over the season, with €12,000 per round to the winner. Second bit of news is our winner from 2019 Azores Rally, Lukas Habaj. Habaj is obviously in that battle last year with Alexey and Chris Ingram for the championship, but at the moment his 2020 plans have been put on hold pure and simply through coronavirus, and Lucas spending time with his business, which is eSky, written all over the car. He employs around about 1,000 people, and he's wanting to concentrate on that and make sure that's secure for the families of the company employees and things like that. And then he will see once the world turns around when he can come back rallying. Someone who is coming back rallying after a horrendous accident in Barham Czech Rally's Lynn, Zelindo Meligari. He's back. He's got a Subaru for 2020. That big crash last year was in a Abarth, which he's got rid of. We've got a Subaru. His passion and his motivation has not dimmed. Zelindo will be back ERC2 for the Italian. Corrado will be co-driving for him as per last year. Miko Marcek, who we've seen twice before in the European Rally Championship, both in Poland. He was finished 5th on his ERC debut in Poland in 2018. He was running 5th last year until he dropped with a puncture. But Miko Marcek down for a full ERC program this year. So it'll be interesting to see how the Polish driver does away from Poland. He's done a couple of rallies out of Poland, but not many. So it'll be interesting to see how that young Polish driver gets on away from home, so to speak. But that's my news.
Oh right, I think we definitely need to get a jingle made for for the news each week. But maybe you can shuffle your papers at the end of it after we finish the news. So yeah, it's the build up to the start of the ERC season, and of course this is ERC The Stage this evening with our esteemed guest joining us, Alexey Lukyanuk, the 2018 ERC champion, and of course Craig Breen, who is back in the ERC, a regular face on the ERC, and a bit of a household name. Both of them this evening are joining us on the line. So get your comments through to us this evening. We've got some live comments coming in on the timeline. We'll go through those in a short while. Also, before we get back to the action, and apparently banjo playing for you, Craig, we're just going to meet one of our new ERC newcomers for this year. Obviously, in 2013, Alexey was a newcomer and shot onto the scene of the ERC. We've got another newcomer for this season, so let them introduce themselves. Press play on that tape.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicola Lander, an ERC3 junior driver for 2020, and I'm from Austria. I'm 21 years old, and my biggest career achievement so far was probably winning the Alpe Adria Junior Cup in 2019. That was an amazing experience, but I think now it's time to step up my game, go all in and go to the ERC, because I just love the rallies. They're amazing, the locations are so beautiful, and the fans are incredible. They're really crazy, but I love that. And it's a really tough competition, and I would like to race against these drivers. And in order to do that, I actually stayed really fit during lockdown. I did a lot of fitness training and also a bit of sim driving too, just to stay in touch with racing as much as possible. But I think it's time to get back into the real rally cars and start driving again. And I'm really looking forward to see you all on stages and to join the ERC family. And I hope you stay safe.
Well, there we go. One of our, just sorting out my papers here, one of our newcomers coming for this season, and of joining you two guys and Julian and myself at the stage ends. You know, going back to 2013, we went all over the shop then. Back then, we went to the Acropolis Rally. We went to a place called the Sibiu Rally Romania. Guys, do you remember Romania? Did you like the event down there in what was it, the Carpathian Garden or something? Wasn't it? It wasn't too far from Dracula's home, apparently, in Sibiu, and that Transvargaragan highway. But Craig, Alexey, do you remember Sibiu Rally Romania and some of the antics that we got up to there?
Just watch this. Just watch this, boys.
None of us did it.
No, do you not? Sorry.
No.
Look at this here.
I've seen this before, yeah.
That was the Santa Max stage, wasn't it? But you guys wouldn't know because you didn't go there.
This is 2013, and that is Raul Badu, who now does, yeah, exactly. He's doing junior WRC, but this is Raul Badu. He actually amazingly finished the stage. The steering wheel came off. You'll see soon that he basically forces it onto the boss of the steering column and gets it to the end of the stage. Here we go. Have you had anything like that before? I mean, maybe our director can re-show that just to kind of get the full effect of it, because you were totally unaware of what was going to happen, I think, some of you. But is that something that you've ever had, kind of something scary like that? What have you had that's the most unexpected thing?
Nothing quite like that. I've had brakes fading and stuff like that, and some surprises. But probably the only one that really caught me from nowhere was had a bonnet obviously come up in the Acropolis that year. Scotty can be reminded of that one. He'll take the blame for that one. Probably the only mistake he made in all the years was forgetting to close the pins, and we lost the Acropolis Rally in 15. Yeah, the second time we did it. So, but yeah, that was the only kind of dramatic thing that happened.
Just explain to us, Craig. I think I know the answer, but just explain to the fans who don't know, why is that Scott's fault then? I know why it is, but just explain why.
They're a team. They're a team.
Yeah, I'm a bit OCD, and I'm really bad with regards to the bonnet pins, and I always have to, at the start of every stage, I always ask, are the pins done? Are the pins done? And the answer always has to be 100%. If it's yes or yeah or anything like that, it doesn't work. It has to be 100%. So it's one of many obligations that I would have put on Scott back then, and Paul now, to be sure that the bonnet pins are closed. And I think we had problems with the car overheating or something like that, and we had to keep the bonnet open on all the, when we stopped before the start of the stage, and Scott closed the bonnet and didn't close the pins. But I remember the stage was half tarmac, half gravel that year in Acropolis. A lot of the stages were half and half, and it was all uphill on tarmac to start, and the bonnet opened after a K. Maybe a K or 2 Ks into the stage, and I could still see quite a lot. And we were leading the rally by, I don't know, 30 or 40 seconds or something like that. And I said, what a nice story it would be to come to the end of the stage and still be leading the rally with the bonnet open. It was the last stage before service, and I said, for me, there's no dramas. Everything is fine. I can see, and that was fine until we went onto the gravel, and the gravel was muddy. And the minute that we went onto the gravel, the first bit of mud that came on the screen, I didn't even think about it. I just went to put the wipers on. And then I realized I couldn't wipe anything away, and the screen just completely filled up with mud, and we dropped. Yeah, the more I think about it, the circumstances, we dropped. I think with all the time we lost in the stage, we ended up in like 5 seconds behind Kaito, with still another loop of stages before the end of the rally. And I think Kaito was driving for the championship, so it would have been quite easy for us to get back in front of him again. We've been taking time all the event. And we came back into service. There was I don't know if you guys remember, there was a massive storm came in, and we're driving out of service, and they just said, rally's cancelled, turn around and go back into Parc Fermé. So the rally finished there, and then we didn't even get a chance to go back out again. So
that was the year that Kaito won the championship by walking back into service, wasn't it? Yeah. The only time the Acropolis rally has been won by someone walking into the service park in all that rain.
Yeah.
Alexey, so bonnet pins, Craig blames it on Scott with that. Bonnet pins with you and your former co-driver, Alexey. You got new co-driver for this year. Tell us why you with a new co-driver. What's the story and the situation there then?
Because he didn't close the pins properly. No, I'm kidding. It was nothing to do with it. We with Alexey were racing for around 10 years, pretty long time, and I think we quite effective team. We were, and we stayed because we had a walk on the riverside yesterday, actually, with our families. We had a small meeting, so we're still friends. But he decided to spend more time with the family, to spend his vacations not for the rallies, not only for the rallies, but also for traveling, for better sightseeing and things like that. So I respect his decision. Yeah, and you can see Dmitry Yeremeyev now. It's my new co-driver. He's not a boy. He's a tough guy, actually, with some good experience on his back. And he was in Australia, in New Zealand, many years ago, actually. But still, he knows how to do it. And we already had some practice at home. We used for that some video games, just because we don't have anything else. And it looks like it helps us to establish some connection. Of course, we need to check everything in proper testing conditions and in the rallies, but I believe we prepare ourselves well. We hear each other, we understand each other, so the contact is good, and I'm looking forward pretty confidently to start rallying with Dmitry.
Okay.
I'm just looking through some live comments as we're going along. Ricky Carson, apparently he was in the hedge watching you spin in the Circuit of Ireland, Craig. So there's one thing. A couple of questions for Craig coming in also about MRF and what have you done with them? You have done a rally in the snow, but what have you done with them testing wise and event wise?
Yeah, so I started testing it a little bit the end of last year. More on gravel. I did quite a big test on gravel in Spain. And then, yeah, again this year, up until basically the lockdown happened, we had been testing quite extensively. Obviously, we did a rally in Finland and Finnish championship. Finished on the podium there. So, and we were actually really quite close to the leaders in quite a specific championship. And considering we were using a tire that physically didn't exist a couple of weeks before, it was really really promising. Yeah, for sure, some exciting plans ahead. A lot of work, a lot of testing, and yeah, we hope to make the tire better and better, make it competitive, and of course we'd like to win some rallies and prove that the MRF are taking this very seriously, and they want to enter the market in Europe very competitively and try to do a good job and make a good product.
As you can see on the screen there, Chris Ingram, champion, is watching at home at the moment. ERC champion from 2019. Chris was with us a few weeks ago in the Lake District. He was out for a walk at the time. As you can see there, which would be your dream round of the ERC? Which one would you choose, guys?
Alexey. At the moment, any. Yeah, I'm speaking from my heart. At the moment, I'm agree to go to any location available. So I don't think about it in that way. We are not in the position to choose what we want. We should just follow the flow and take what we can.
Okay, we've got to talk about
Craig. Craig, what would be your dream rally?
You know what I'm going to say anyway. So, obviously, so either Killarney, if you can get a mixture between Killarney and Donegal, the classics from Killarney and the classics from Donegal, even though they're at the two ends of the country, if you could make a rally out of that, you will not rival it anywhere else in the world. So that's me. Probably Killarney. Yeah, probably Killarney. If you could put Killarney into European or World Championship, that would be something special. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I'm just looking through these questions, Chris, and it's as if Chris Ingram can see our crib sheet. Right. And also, Jurek, a question for Alexey. Can you tell us what your first memory of rallying was and how old you were when you took part? We can actually show from Alexey's social media one of his first cars and just give us a bit of an insight of how you got involved, Alexey, into rallying.
Show me this car. I don't remember.
Well, we'll get there. There's a picture of a Lada on your Instagram.
Yeah, actually, I started pretty late. I was 25 when I started my first club event. It was not even something serious, and it was open class with. It's a car with. Can you imagine? It is with aluminium roll cage. Aluminium roll cage. It's a pretty old one. You don't even remember when they were produced, but it was a nice car for learning to start driving. It's a rear-wheel drive car with about 100 horsepower. And I did a lot of driving in winter with it. But it was not reliable and not strong enough to go fast. So we shifted to different models, but it gave me a start at least. And actually, at the moment I started, I was noticed by people, recognized by high speed and attitude and passion. So it started late, but intense.
I was going to get on to Craig's favorite car because I think Alexey will appreciate this as well. Again, I knew this before, Craig, but scrolling through your social media, you've managed to acquire what is probably your dream car. Get hold of one. Your dad drove one. Just talk us through the love of what your favorite car is and why.
Yeah, obviously, the Metro 6R4 has kind of been synonymous with our family since I was a child. There you go. They are my memories from rallying. And you can even see the way I'm staring at the thing, like it's I didn't care about anything else, only that. But yeah, I just spent my whole childhood growing up, and yeah, fortunate enough, my dad would argue it's not mine, it's his. Let that be straight, and he's the one that drives it most. But yeah, we've managed to acquire this one in the last couple of years, and I have to say it got a full rebuild during the winter. The guys with Tom Gann did an absolutely incredible job. It's like a WRC finish, but with all the the niceties of the original car inside. So. But yeah, I basically followed my dad around for years and years. Did the national championship in Ireland for God knows how many years. From started in 1995 and finally managed to win it 10 years later in 2005. And I was there for the whole journey up along that. Been collected from school, on a Friday evening or heading away early on a Saturday morning. I go and do all the recce's. I'd be in the back of the car, watching absolutely everything. In the chase wagon when the chase wagons were allowed, and even when they weren't allowed. Obviously getting older, then I would have done the gravel crew, weather crew, bit of everything, and then I was finally old enough to start myself. So I just know no different other than the noise of that car, especially when sometimes the car would be here at the home place, and it would start up and all the pots and pans would start shaking inside in the house, and it was. It just creates emotions and memories inside that especially something that you take in as a child. It seems even more incredible when you look back at it as being an adult. So but yeah, very lucky to have the car that we have now. It still smells the same, still sounds the same, still gives all the same emotions, and incredible to be able to drive it from time to time.
I was watching some onboard with you in it before. So lively. They're just yeah. I presume it's a bit of a handful to keep on the tarmac, is it?
Yeah, it is quite difficult. Obviously, the car runs the original transmission. It's the original engine, albeit sleeved down to 2.5, so it's homologated. We can actually compete in rallies. In my opinion, now it's somewhere between an R5 and a 2016 WRC insofar as power and everything. I have some work to do with the geometry, or I have some ideas that I would like to do with the geometry to make it even a bit more stable. The dampers now, it's on the same specification dampers like you'd have in a WRC car. So there's just some small little subtle things that I really think it could be as fast as, not the new generation world cars, but for sure the 2016 World Rally car. It's light, it's so light. You've got so much power, around 400 brake horsepower. It's an incredible piece of kit. So my dream one day is to be able to win a round of a national championship in Ireland. And that's really the dream, because my dad came so close on I can't tell you how many occasions, and always something gave up at the last hurdle and it never managed to happen. And that would be absolute bucket list stuff if I could win a national championship rally.
Hopefully our director in the studio, who is just mixing everything for us this evening, will be able to pull up that footage of the Metro 6R4 with you driving it. I know that we have got it in the server
somewhere
so
in
hopefully,
there. Alexey, what would be your... Here's some footage, yeah.
Well, that's you and your dad, but we'll come back to the onboard footage would be good in a minute, but we'll get that for you.
Alexey, what would be your dream car? Like, of any rally car, what would it be?
I think I would like to drive something from the end of previous age. Let's say Mitsubishi Evo 6 Group A car, Toyota Corolla Group A, or maybe Subaru. So it was quite fun time, because the cars were I think pretty balanced, but still with not so good suspensions, and it allowed to slide a lot and have a lot of fun. The footage still impressive from those times, and I quite respect the drivers and their abilities to push to the limit in this vehicle. So I think these are my favorites.
Good stuff. We'll get that. I mean, the Metro 6R4, Craig, is the only thing about it as a Metro is probably the front grille, isn't it? The rest of it is
Yeah, well, I can tell you, no, the grill isn't, but the headlamps are definitely out of a Mini Metro, and they cannot be got because I've been trying to get them for them. So if anyone is watching, and I've said a headlamp for a Mini Metro, an Austin Metro, I need one.
Really, I know there is. I saw a car parked up on someone's driveway not far from here a few weeks ago, which was an MG Metro with headlamps in it, and it was fully intact. The paintwork was a bit not so good, but it was a proper MG Metro spec.
Oh yeah,
everything. Do you want me to?
Yeah.
He wants the
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
really?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I need inner wings, headlamps, rear lamps.
Yeah.
There'll be obviously roof skin. God forbid we don't ever need that, but there is a lot of stuff that can come out of it. So yeah, definitely. He's sitting on the gold mine. Don't tell him that it's worth so much.
Yeah. Well, the person I was talking to them saying, well, my mum used to have she used to drive. I don't know what it is. My dad used to buy a really fast cars that he wasn't allowed to drive for work. So she had an MG Metro, and this is exactly the same with the MG graphics up the side of it. This one parked up.
Yeah.
And the lady said there was only 14 of these left apparently. So yeah, it's there. I think it was in a rusty red colour, but definitely had all the bits in it and all the glass and all. Right, we'll do a deal, Craig Breen. We'll sort that out for you.
Yeah, make it happen. Make it happen. Yeah.
Right, we're near the end. We've already kind of overrun by a minute. But okay, banjo and guitar. Anyone fancy a play to play us out?
You definitely don't want to hear me with the
banjo. For me, it takes time to plug everything. Maybe next time.
Next time,
takes a while to plug in the banjo as well. To be fair.
Yeah.
Money then. Who's going to win Rally di Roma Capitale when we get underway in a few weeks' time? Who out of you two? Who's going to be there? Both on the podium?
Rally are supposed to decide who is the fastest. Without rally, we cannot know.
Okay.
Yeah. I think everyone just wants to drive and wants to be out competing, and yeah, you have to acknowledge the work that the guys are doing, and the guys and girls are doing in the organising team for Rally Rome. And if it can happen, if they make it a success, will be really incredible. And they obviously they are doing everything that they can. The work that's gone into it so far is pretty incredible. So will be amazing, and they will deliver a little dream to everybody to be able to come back in the rally car again if all goes well. So I really wish them the best of luck.
Okay, good. We should be up and running in a few weeks' time then. So Alexey, bring your guitar to the start ramp in the centre of Rome, and Craig, I don't want to say, but you can bring your banjo too and play that well without crashing out at the end of this programme this evening. This has been ERC The Stage. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We're taking a break next week. Apparently, guys, thank you for joining us this evening. It's been fantastic, Julian, Alexey, and of course Craig Breen this evening. But we had some sort of historic thing to talk about to wrap up the show tonight. We were like, well, what could we dig out in the archives? And of course, what happened last week? It was NASA space stuff with
SpaceX was launched.
That's the one. Thank you. Some space type stuff. But so we decided to dig in our archives because of the historic moment last week after that aborted launch on Thursday evening. But they managed to the first private company to fly to the International Space Station with the SpaceX rocket, which has been in development for a few years. We thought we'd dig out our one small step video that we produced last year with Percy to celebrate 50 years of the moon landing with Neil Armstrong. So we'll play out with that. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for ERC The Stage.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Houston, we see you on the steerable, over. Roger, how does it look? Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Retro, go. Rhino, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Telcom, go. GNC, go. Ecom, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, we're go for landing. Altitude 4200, you're go for landing, over.